Today, the White Sox wrap it up here in Arizona with our final Cactus League game against these Cleveland Indians. Then we'll hit the road after the game and head back up north and get the 2013 season underway. Yes!
We are coming to you from Camelback Ranch, Glendale, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Adam Dunn, Gordon Beckham, and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Terry Francona's revamped Cleveland Indians. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrell, as we get set to bring you the final game from Arizona and the final telecast from Arizona. And Steve, this is a day that about 99.9% of our players have been waiting for a couple of weeks. This get out of town day.
It's time to leave. It's the coup de grace, the coupe de ville. It's the swan song, the finale. It's whatever it is. We get to go back to Chicago, and the team gets to be ready to play, although there are 2 more games in Milwaukee. But largely, we've emerged unscathed. Now, you've got John Danks on the disabled list, and Jesse Crane is going to throw today, and hopefully he'll be okay. But all in all, Hawk, pretty healthy camp.
Well, how about Keppinger?
Well, Jeff Keppinger has been a revelation to this team. First of all, he's going to be in the 2 spot. Now, we know he can hit, and we know that he doesn't strike out. As a 2-hitter, that's what you're looking for. Get down in the count, let the base stealer steal, in this case, Diaza. And then if you want to hit and run, do it. So no longer will Robin's hands be tied. Jeff Keppinger is going to be terrific at 2.
Hitting almost 500 on the spring. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Part of the NBC Sports Group.
Welcome back to Camelback Ranch at Glendale for the final game in Arizona as our boys take on the Cleveland Indians. So the Indians come in at 16, 13, and 2. Our Sox come in at 12, 13, and 3 after a win yesterday against the Texas Rangers where Chris Sale looked absolutely terrific. Terry Francona back in a Major League uniform, and he is the skipper of the Cleveland Indians. Robin Ventura starting his 2nd year with the Sox, and let's take a look at how Francona is going to line up his tribe today. Michael Bourne leads it off, and then Drew Stubbs in the 2 spot, so plenty of speed at the top with Jason Kipnis, Nick Swisher, Michael Brantley, Mark Reynolds the DH, Lonnie Chisenhall, Mike Aviles, and Lou Marson doing the catching. The defense and how they're going to line up behind Matt Zaleski. Left to right, Viciedo, Diaza, and Wise in the outfield. In the infield, Keppinger, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko. Tyler Flowers with the duties behind the plate. And our Lexus Pursuing Perfection starting pitcher is Matt Zaleski. Just like against Kansas City, Robin does not want to show them any of our starting pitchers that will go against them on the first road trip of the year. We start in Washington, head to Cleveland, and then end in Toronto in what will be a very tough 10-game road trip. In the meantime, a lot of people picking Cleveland second or third in the division because they certainly like what they've done offensively, but pitching is going to tell the tale, and the Indians' pitching is okay. They have to have a resurgent year out of Masterson. They would like to see Ubaldo Jimenez revert to years past, and Terry Francona has his work cut out for him. So, we're ready to play baseball on this beautiful day, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stoney, thank you very much. And once again, good afternoon, and welcome everybody to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. So happy you could join us for the finale of the Arizona spring training season. Michael Bourne will lead it off, and as Steve told you, plenty of speed at the top. Last year, stole 42 bases with the Braves. And his high in the big leagues is 61. He did that twice in 09 and in 2011.
You also have to watch the bunt anytime Bourne is up because he wants to get on any way he can.
Well, he's got to because he struck out last year 155 times.
Which is not a ringing endorsement for a #1 hitter.
Cleveland with a record of 68-94, finished 20 games back of the Tigers last year. There's a little one hopper come back. So Goodspeed retired by Matt Zaleski.
That's what the Indians are going to do this year. They're going to run themselves into a lot of offense because Stubbs is another guy strikes out a whole lot, as does Swisher, and they're 3 of the first 4 hitters.
Stubbs on the spring hitting at .231. No homers. He's driven in 6. This guy can run. He stole 30 bases last year with Cincinnati. And he has some power as well. 6'4", 205.
The cost was Shin-Soo Choo. That was the trade. I think Choo will have a very big year with Cincinnati.
Well, I'll tell you how much they thought about him. He was taking 1 pick after Clayton Kershaw and 2 picks ahead of Tim Lincecum in the 06 draft.
Well, you could certainly understand that because there's nothing he can't do. When he was a pitcher, he threw the ball 95 miles an hour before he hurt his elbow. But being a free agent coming up, they just didn't want to pay the price for keeping him.
That's a can of corn. Tank is there. 2 down. So Matt Zaleski out of North Aurora, Illinois. 31 years old, 6'1", 205 pounds. Matt 46 and 47 in his minor league career in our system.
He's one of my favorite players on their team, and he can also run.
Kipnis at 257 last year, 14 homers and drove in 76, but having a tough spring at 152. There's another can of corn and a nice quick 1-2-3 inning for Matt Zaleski after having to play. It's a 5-0 and good guys coming to bat.
And here's how Robin is going to line up our Sox today. Alejandro Diaz leading off, then Jeff Keppinger in the familiar 2 spot with Viciedo, Dunn, Konerko, then Alexei Ramirez, Dwayne Wise, Tyler Flowers, and Gordon Beckham hitting 9th and playing second base. The defense and how they'll line up behind Daisuke Matsuzaka. It's Bradley, Bourne, and Stubbs left to right, very fast outfield. Chisenhall, one of our nemesis, Mike Aviles, who's finally out of Kansas City. He's at short. Then it's Kipnis and Swisher with Lou Marson behind the plate. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Daisuke Matsuzaka, who did not make the team. They released him, re-signed him to a minor league contract. Terry Francona, who had him in Boston, said that he feels that he needs some arm strength. He has to shake off some rust. He feels he will be a major league pitcher again, but he has to get some minor league innings under his belt before they'd even try him.
Alejandro Diaz will lead it off. Alejandro hitting at .292 with a homer and 2 RBIs on the spring. Matsuzaka, one of the most highly publicized pitchers to ever break in to the major leagues back in '07. I saw his first game. It was against Seattle. And we were up there for the 40th anniversary of the '67 team.
He ran into the wrong guy that day.
Well, let's put it this way. As high into right field, the papers and the TV and radio and everybody was full of Daisuke Matsuzaka. And I told the writers when they came over to talk, I said, you're talking about the wrong guy. Well, all the King did was throw a one-hitter that day.
Felix Hernandez still with Seattle, still anchoring that pitching staff in Seattle, a much improved team this year. I think they're going to surprise some people in the West.
You know, it's easier to name the teams that have not been improved than the ones that are improved. Here's Keppinger hitting at .476 on the spring. That unusual John Walkenfuss almost like type stance, former catcher for the Tigers, John Walkenfuss.
When you first saw Matsuzaka, did you believe he'd have the success of Hideo Nomo? I mean, was he... I know he was ballyhooed, but
no. You
looked at his stuff he had. Remember, they talked about the gyro ball that he was throwing?
I mean, that was all hype. And they paid $100 million for him.
Over. Yeah, considered like 111, 112.
No, when I saw him, when he was out there in the top of the first inning, when he went out to pitch, and you know his adrenaline had to be sky high. And I was standing with a couple of former teammates on the '67 Red Sox team. And we looked at each other and said, that's a $100 million fastball?
He had one big year with Boston, and then a lot of people did catch up with him. And then he got hurt, and he hasn't been able to fight his way back.
Two hopper, handled by Lonnie Chisenhall. 2 down.
Normally, Asdrubal Cabrera will be their shortstop, and with Chisenhall, Cabrera, Kipnis, and Swisher in the infield, they're going to have a much improved defensive infield. Swisher is a better first baseman, as we saw when he was here, than he is an outfielder. And Cabrera very good at shortstop, and Chisenhall getting better at third.
Here's Tank. Had a big game yesterday. Over at Surprise. Double. His first at bat and scored a run. Then in the 6th inning, with a couple of guys on, here's what he did.
Took that low-end fastball. A day with the wind blowing out, wouldn't have mattered with that one, but took it out of the ballpark. That one got a piece of Mike Muchlinski, who's behind the plate today.
Tank hitting at .293 on the spring, 3 homers and 14 knocked in.
That cannot feel too good.
Anytime, but especially on getaway day.
Cleveland's going to be here for a while. I'm sure there'll be some umpiring crews like the 3 we have today.
Took a little something off that breaking ball. 1-2-3 inning. After 1, no score.
They'll score top of the second inning. It'll be Swisher, Brantley, and Reynolds.
They gave Nick Swisher for 4 years in the neighborhood of $14 million a year. And Nick, who was a very good complimentary player with the New York Yankees, now is asked pretty much to be the man right in the middle of this lineup for the Indians.
Now Swish last year hit .272, 24 homers, and knocked in 93.
He had a lot of people on base with that Yankee lineup ahead of him.
That helps.
Well, also, you know, in that lineup, you worry about so many of those guys that Nick became almost an afterthought. And here, there's going to be a lot of guys concentrating on him, and we know that changeups are not his friend, but he is a switch hitter and playing his best position, first base, and he'll be there every day.
Yeah, Swisher. He will see some pitches at the plate. He was 7th in the American League last year, seeing pitches in every at bat. He averaged 4.26. Who would you think led the league in seeing pitches in every at bat?
I would think Adam Dunn, because I watched him take pitch after pitch after pitch.
He did at 4.43.
I was kind of surprised many times, in fact, that Adam just didn't swing at a lot of 3-0 fastballs. He would take most of them.
Well, he swung at a couple, and he hit one out, and he hit another double another time. I thought we were going to swing 3-0 more last year than we did. We did early, and then all of a sudden it just didn't do it. Brantley. This young man came alive the last couple of months of the season.
He's a pretty good player, and he was kind of the complimentary player in the CC Sabathia deal. Matt Laporta was supposed to be the guy, and Laporta has just not worked out.
Well, Michael having a good spring at 405, a homer and 9 knocked in. Last year wound up at 288. He was hurt a lot of the season, but the last couple of months he really turned it on. And that's outside 2-1. And here at Camelback Ranch, Glendale, 345 down the lines, 380 in the gaps, and 410 straightaway center. A little cloud cover today, so it's not real hot. When that leaves, it will get real hot. What's the hottest you've ever seen it out here? You've been there a long time.
Out here?
Yeah.
Well, 122, wow. 123.
Wow.
One day it was so hot that they grounded the airplanes from taking off. But it wasn't because they couldn't take off.
Because of the tires? A little double play coming up right here. Rack them up. 2 down.
Actually, it was because the instruction manual went to something like in the neighborhood of 120 or 121, and there was a liability issue because the temperature was higher than that. And so before they could straighten out all the legal ramifications of what would happen in case something happened in temperatures above that particular area, they just grounded the planes for a while and didn't take off. But that's very rare. It routinely gets to 115, 116 summertime.
Here's Mark Reynolds. Last year, Baltimore hit .221 with 23 homers and 69 knocked in. He's having a nice spring. 340, 3 homers, and 8 RBIs.
Well, they could conceivably have 7 guys of their starting 9 strike out 100 times. And Reynolds, if he plays enough, is going to be knocking at the door at 200.
A little two-hopper. Another nice inning, even after the leadoff walk by Matt Zaleski.
Tickets for the 2013 season are on sale right now. Prices have been greatly reduced for nearly all games, and the schedule is full of great matchups, promotional nights, family Sundays, and post-game fireworks. So purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME. Also, if you did not hear, opening day is sold out, so there are no more tickets available for opening day against the Kansas City Royals. Adam Dunn will lead it off. Adam hitting at .216, 3 homers, 10 knocked in on the spring. Off the end of the bat, Matsusaka will just go ahead and take it himself. So 1 pitch and 1 out.
Cleveland, one of the 4 original members of the American League, along with our ball club, Boston, and Detroit. Only 4 played continuously from the start of the American League until today.
Here's Paulie. Well, Cleveland and all those teams have a tremendous fan base all over the country. Paulie takes ball 1. Paulie at .339, 5 homers, 12 RBIs on the spring. Paulie, one of only 7 players who have hit 20-plus home runs in each of the last 8 years. Cabrera, Canerico, David Ortiz, Albert Pujols, Alfonso Soriano, Mark Teixeira, and Nick Swisher.
And it sounds pretty strange, because 20 home runs for a lot of home run hitters doesn't seem like a whole lot. Then you realize that you've got to stay healthy a good portion of the year to get to 20 home runs. And all those guys obviously have, and a lot of them have flown by the 20 home run mark on a yearly basis.
Paulie trying to take that one into right center.
I know you came in a little after this, but toward the end of the century, Cleveland
Truth hurts.
had a year when they went, and this was the 1800s, 1899, when they went 20 and 134. That's a bad year.
That was a little worse than the last one I had with Cleveland when I was there. Pokes that one into right field. So the first hit of the ball game. And that'll bring up Alexei.
That shows you exactly why Paulie still hits at or near 300. Because he can take a pitch low and away, very much a pitcher's pitch, in a defensive mode, and just kind of slap it into right field.
Alexei hitting at .268, no homers. He's driven in 6. And there was a nice article on the White Sox website on MLB by Scott Merkin. And he's right. Actually, he was quoting Jeff Manto. He also added his own touches to it about how the key to the White Sox success in offense this year is going to be Alexei Ramirez and Dayan Viciedo. If those two guys can have just their normal seasons, so to speak, we're going to be fine. I think Viciedo is going to really improve, and I think Alexei is really going to improve on his performance of 2012.
I certainly think he's going to hit a lot more home runs. And when you see him in single digits in home runs and realize, although he's thin, he's very strong, and he's got a quick bat, and there's no reason at all why he can't hit 15 to 20 home runs, which I think he will do this year.
Well, a couple of years ago, he had 18, won the Silver Slugger Award. Last year, he did drive in 73, which is certainly not bad, hitting in the spots he hit in. But he only hit 9 home runs. Curveball, no. Outfield, straight up, spread out.
Lou Marson, who's behind the plate today, is a very good defensive catcher. We saw last year he can really throw. Blocks pitches well. Their number one catcher, Carlos Santana, is a good offensive player, only getting better. However, he allowed 10 passed balls last year. That was the most in the American League.
And that's low. Full count to Alexei with one out. Konerko at first here in the bottom of the second. No score if you're just tuning in. Hopefully, we heard it from up here. Hopefully it's just a glancing blow.
Didn't get him off that padded elbow. It looked like it got him off the hand or wrist. Take another look.
Right shoulder, right on the tip. There again, we talked about it. Almost every game this spring, guys hit themselves a lot. Turning into that pitch.
Well, he was looking fastball, got a fastball, but couldn't react to it.
Well, that ball was just chasing him down.
Yeah. The shoulder is a whole lot better than the hand or wrist.
So here is D. Wise. Sanchez in to run for Alexei Angel Sanchez, who's made the ball club.
He had a very good day yesterday.
That home run he hit was the longest one we've seen this spring.
I didn't think he had that kind of pop.
Well, I've seen him take a lot of BP this spring, and not even we're close to that as he hit one.
He was 3 for 4 with a walk and 3 runs scored in yesterday's game against the Rangers.
0-2 the count to Wise. Blaine hitting at .245, 3 homers and 7 knocked in. Konerko at second. Sanchez at first. Yeah. That's Susaka on that fastball. As you mentioned, Tito said he's got to get some arm strength back, and he certainly does.
And this is really what characterizes him. He gets 0-2 and then finds himself having to make eventually a 3-2 pitch. Now, if Dwayne lets that high curveball go, it's going to be 3-2. But pitchers, when they get 0-2, 1-2, the put-away pitch is something that can keep a pitch count down. Conversely, if they keep nibbling at the corners and can't get it done, they're going to get to 100 pitches somewhere in the 5th or 6th.
Got to get that one by him inside.
th pitch about to be delivered by Matsuzaka. We felt that the first inning might have been an illusion as he went 1-2-3. When he gets runners on, he really slows it down.
Change up, bobbled. Takes him right to the bag. Those steps on it. 2 out.
Starting rotation for the Indians this year, Justin Masterson, who certainly has to have a bounce-back year. Then you have Ubaldo Jimenez, former White Sox pitcher out of our pen. Brett Myers is going to be starting for them. Zach McAllister. And number 5 at this point, there was a battle for it. It's going to be Scott Kazmir, the left-hander who was so impressive in his early days, only to fall on some hard times. Apparently has got it back again.
Tyler made a nice pass at it, just a shade tardy.
You remember Kazmir having some pretty good games with the Angels. Came up with the Mets. Yeah.
He was sneaky too. So when he hurt his arm, he lost about a foot, not a foot, maybe 6 inches off his fastball, and that was enough. He pitched a game against us down in St. Pete. Absolutely, we just had no chance. Ducks on the pond with 2 out and an 0-2 count.
Sox bullpen up and going. We'll see how long Zaleski is allowed to pitch. It's been a pretty impressive first 2 innings in this one for Matt.
Osaka had 3 victories in the World Baseball Classic in 06 and 09. Aviles throws him out, and it'll retire the side. Nothing across. We had a mild threat. After 2, no score.
Tonight it's a big-time showdown at the United Center as LeBron and the Heat pay a visit to the West Side. CSN's exclusive pregame coverage kicks off live from the concourse at 5 o'clock. Don't miss Bulls Heat with Neil Funk and Stacey King tonight at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. So Brian Omogrosso comes into the game. Zaleski threw very well. Omogrosso has had a very good spring. As you can see, he's given up nothing. And if anything were to happen to Jesse Crane, if he wasn't 100%, I'm sure that Brian would have done more than enough to earn his way on this ball club.
Here's Chisenhall. Having a big spring at 412, 4 homers and 12 knocked in.
What do you think about
Grosso is just picking up where he left off last year.
Yeah, he throws hard. When he got the ball over the plate, he was very good. What do you think overall of Chisenhall?
I think he's going to be terrific. I think he's going to be outstanding. I think he's got a little to learn down at third base, but offensively, he's got a chance to be an outstanding hitter. He likes to play a stand-up third base, and that's not very good.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to move down on the baseball and easy to move up with the baseball.
Good pitch by Amagroso, just ate him up, 1 out. That'll bring up a Sox nemesis. Mike Aviles, last year with Boston, hit .250, 13 homers, and drove in 60, hitting .320 on the spring, but he has always hit us hard.
If we had a couple of dollars for every time he hit a line drive to right center field against us, we'd be a lot more comfortable because he wore that place out.
A couple of dozen of those old Dunlops you like.
They're good.
Every base City had.
They're very good. In fact, I think they're 120 compression.
He had a good, there's a good curveball. He had a good World Baseball Classic, Puerto Rico. Around .320, a homer, 9 RBI. There was a very hittable curveball, and he hits it, but pops it up. 2 down.
I'd like to send along birthday greetings to Laura Ruby, who is rooting on her beloved Ohio State Buckeyes in the Sweet 16, hoping they get by Arizona, and hoping that the dreaded Michigan Wolverines get spanked by Kansas. So happy birthday, Laura.
Ditto. I think the Buckeyes.
Think they'll get by?
Yeah.
Get by the Wildcats?
Yep. I'll tell you, Buckeyes, when they hit on all cylinders, they're really tough. They're as tough as anybody.
Iowa State gave them a battle.
There were a lot of teams this year that gave them a battle.
It's true.
One pitch. Nice inning right here for Bomo. 1, 2, 3. And after 2.5, it's still no score. Bottom of the third inning, and now joining us down in the dugout is Bernie. Ernie, alias Mark Parent. Mark, welcome, buddy.
Thanks.
How about your second year now as a bench coach? Let me just give you fans out there a little quick history on the last 3 years that Mark has managed. He finished first, and second. So that's going to be an eventuality in the big leagues. But being with Robin, a guy that you really didn't have that much of association with, just a little bit, it was a good thing, wasn't it? Good hookup.
Yeah, it worked out really good. He's a real quick study. I mean, he picked up things managing-wise that, most guys takes years to do. And, not being a catcher, he's starting to understand the pitching side of it and stuff like that. So he's been a real quick study.
And, Mark, being a long-time Major League catcher, what should we expect from Tyler Flowers both behind the plate and with the bat this year?
Well, he's got some pop. I mean, he has almost Adam Dunn power. I mean, he had a line drive here the other day to center field. It was like a 2-iron, like Hawk hits him. But he can catch, he can throw, he blocks the balls well. He's just got to be durable. He's got to stay in shape and be durable throughout the whole season, and that's the main thing I see going forward. He needs to just stay in shape, stay in touch with Coop and the game calling and the game plans we put forward.
Gordon into left field off the end of the bat. Brantley is there, and that's out number 1. Well, one thing that the players are talking about, more so than any I can recall in a long, long time, maybe if ever, is how much they're enjoying the manager and the coaching staff on this ball club.
Well, we're a loose bunch, but we all played, and we all know how we wanted to be treated as players, and that's how we try to treat them. I mean, I bark every now and then, but most of the time it's just letting them know that our baseball cards are full. I mean, we're here for them and the organization to do well and to be successful, and if they're successful, we're successful. And this game's all about failure. We're not afraid to fail, and we put our eggs in that basket with the players and just want them to succeed, and I think they sense that.
Well, last year our club did some things that hadn't been done in this organization or around Major League Baseball in a long time. You took infield in the first game very serious. You also had some phantom infields, which loosens everybody up. We used to love to do that.
Yeah, infield's great. I mean, our outfielders ended up throwing very accurately, which a lot of other teams struggle with. It pays off. But the main thing when it comes to that type of thing is that the main guys like a Dunn or a Canerco, they buy into it. They want to take it. And like when Euclid came over last year, he's like, we're going to take infield. And, yeah, you'll take it. And Dunn says, like, you'll take it and you'll like it. So, I mean, when the guys buy into what Robin wants them to do, and it's easy.
This guy here has got a chance to help our ball club this year, doesn't he?
He puts the bat on the ball. He can do a lot of things with him. You can hit and run. Run and hit. He knows what he's doing up there. He's not going to strike out. He's going to play a lot. So his like with Tyler, his physical ability, his stamina is going to have to increase a little bit. He's going to have to figure out what it takes to play every day.
The 0-1 pitch. Well, I think it's going to be last year. Whoever we put in the 2-hole, there was always that specter, so to speak, of the strikeout. And this year, now that that's gone, it gives Robin that flexibility. And I think it's going to add anywhere from 15 to 25 runs over the course of the season with things that Robin did not do last year that he can do now.
Exactly. I think the 2-0 was the biggest key for us last year, and it wasn't there. And to do as well as we did without just a really good 2-0 hitter. And this guy, he has the ability to hit in the 3-hole. So. He's showed some power down here. He had a home run against us last year in Chicago. He just gives us a lot of things we can do, and he can play first. He can play second. I doubt if he can play short as well as we'd like, but he has the ability to do a lot of things, and that's what we needed.
Mark, what's the responsibility of a bench coach?
Make sure everybody knows is on the right page. Make sure the manager's aware of situations. I kind of get a read on Robin when something's coming up and he's not in tune with it, and remind him. Or answer a question if he's got, should we do this, should we do that? It's a lot of different things.
Well, Mark, thanks for the time, buddy, and have another good season.
All right, guys. See you tonight.
Take care.
Okay. Bye. Mark Parent. Fans, as you know, opening day is April 1st at 3:10 p.m. and as you know, it's sold out. But all those people, all fans, will receive a 2013 White Sox magnetic schedule and rally towel presented by U.S. Cellular, the exclusive wireless provider of our White Sox. Purchase your tickets, which you can't get in for opening day, but you can purchase them following games and ensuing games by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Jeff Gray comes into the game. He's the third Sox pitcher of the day. Zaleski, Omogrosso, very good, and Jeff Gray.
Top of the order, Bourne, Stubbs, and Kipnis. Michael Bourne hit a little comebacker to Matt Zaleski, who really pitched well. 2 innings. No runs, no hits. Bourne, as I mentioned, 155 strikeouts last year. Only 2 players in Major League history have struck out 150 plus times in a season while hitting less than 10 home runs. Bourne, of course, did it. Austin Jackson did it back in 2010. He struck out 170 times.
Well, they took away that high leg kick from him, and it seemed to help him somewhat.
Oh, Austin Jackson came into his own last year.
Just a great hitter, outstanding center fielder.
Tremendous talent. We talked about him in spring training last year being the key to that ball club, and boy, did he ever come through. Because he didn't have much defensive help in right and left.
No. And when he did get on, those guys behind him, notably Miguel Cabrera, more times than not drove him home.
And he's going to have a lot of help out there in right field. Torrey Hunter. Full count.
One guy you don't want to walk. One of those things you do with a hitter like Bourne. You want to throw it right down the middle and say hit it as far as you can.
Yeah, those are the kind of guys you want to get out of there in fewest pitches possible. You don't want to go 2-0, 3-1, 3-2 to them. So that's the first base hit by an Indian.
3-2 fastball down the middle. Terry Francona has already told his club that they are going to run. They're going to run often. They're going to try to run themselves into a whole lot of offense because they're not going to have a lot of bombers. Now, Mark Reynolds will hit the ball out of the ballpark, and there's assorted guys who will hit home runs in this lineup, but they're not a power-laden team. There's a look at Terry. Very successful as a manager of the Boston Red Sox.
Well, Bourne, Stubbs, and Kipnis in this lineup today, those guys stole at least 30 bases last year. And they have stolen 29 this spring.
Brantley can run a little bit, although they haven't asked him to run all that much.
That ball hit high, so Barnes going to tag, and he's going to go. No, he's not. He pulls up. Surprised. Yes, it was a little pirouette by Diaz. So here's Kipnis. He went out to Diaz his first trip. So Jason out of Northbrook, attended Glenbrook North High School. goes. Fouled away. Getaway day and what has been a long spring training for these guys.
Talked with Jake Peavy before the game, and he's going to be held back here in Arizona to get a couple of days work. Not scheduled to go at all in Milwaukee, so he'll take advantage of the nice weather and then fly to Chicago. Says he feels like this spring has gone on forever.
Everybody says the same thing. Well, they're getting out here, you know. They're getting out here February 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th. You know, and that's a long time. But baseball, it's good in one respect because it's become a fan spring training. Actually, it always has been, but not to the degree that it is today, because these guys come in spring training in shape. My time zone, that was not the case. I came in way overweight, and we needed every day of it because guys had to work during the winter to supplement their income.
And this year was a slow early part of spring because the weather was just awful. Attendance down a third across the board, and last 3 weeks weather's been beautiful and attendance has really picked up.
2-1 to Kipnis. I remember in the Wayback Machine when Chuck Tanner was managing the Oakland A's, talking to him in the spring. I think it was 1977. Not sure, but he said, Hawk, he said, we're going to run guys out of the ballpark this year. And boy, did they ever. They had almost 300 stolen bases, or maybe over 300.
That park
Jeff is the guy on full.
That park has always been a great pitcher's park. Tough park to hit the ball out of. And Chuck, looking at his personnel, figured let him go.
There he goes. There's the strike him out, and he's safe. Two down. And here's Swisher. Swish drew a walk leading off the second inning.
Good call by Corey Blazer, as Bourne did indeed beat the throw. It was a breaking ball. Good pitch to run on.
And of course, Stone Pony, my partner, has got some sort of a convoluted relationship with Swisher, because Steve and Nick's dad, Steve, were traded to the Cubs for Ron Santo.
In the Ron Santo deal, in a deal that hurt both teams. Ron played 1 year with the White Sox.
It's a bad deal, right?
Ron played 1 year with the White Sox, and Chuck Tanner told him to stay away from third. You're making Melton nervous. So they moved Ron, a lifetime third baseman, to second. He was not very happy. And I always told him I thought he was the second best second baseman ever in Sox history, which didn't make him very happy. And then, of course, I went over to the Cubs, and a lot of people didn't realize that I was a 20-game winner with the Cubs. But it took me 3 years. So between Steve Swisher, who did make the All-Star team 1 year, and Jim Kreml and Ken Frayling and I, we didn't add much to an already bad baseball team.
The 1-2 pitch. Had a good pitch to hit and fouls it away left side.
But Steve, Nick's father, was good to throw to, a good defensive catcher out of Ohio University. They're both from West Virginia. Nick was born and raised there. Nick turned out to be just a touch better than his dad, and probably now is supporting him handsomely after this last contract.
Just did get a piece of that one. Well, Nick, I enjoyed Nick when he was here, and I've never seen a guy have as much trouble with a changeup when he was in the White Sox.
Nope.
Anybody that threw a changeup, he had no chance on. It was unbelievable.
Well, when Nick was with Oakland, he was a right fielder and hit 6th or 7th in the lineup. When he came here, we used him as a leadoff hitter a lot and put him in center field, which he really couldn't play. Went back to the Yankees, moved down in the order, went back to right field, and got some big hits for the Yankees over the last few years.
Yes, he did. He gone. Breaking ball. And that'll do it. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Still no score.
Friday, the 2 top teams in the West battle for bragging rights and for the #1 seed. It's the Blackhawks-Ducks rematch. Friday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet. And don't miss Blackhawks Morning Skate live before the game. Friday at 10:30 on CSN and ChicagoBlackhawks.com.
Here's Tank. It'll be Tank, Dunn, and Konerko to face Daisuke Matsusaka, who is, if you're just tuning in, he's pitching a game in which he is throwing virtually no fastballs for strikes. He is below the hitting speed in almost probably 98% of his pitches.
He's been able to get ahead of our hitters and then play around for a bit, getting into 2-2, 3-2 before he eventually puts him away.
He struck out Tank his first trip on a slow curveball. Well, there have been a lot of pitchers who have had bad arms and come back and had successful careers. There again, he's not trying to overpower anybody, but you take a Louis Tiant, came back from a broken shoulder as he strikes him out there. 1 out. And then you take and Louis came back and won 20 games several times after that. And you take a Frank Tanana, who had one of the greatest left-handed arms in baseball. And he became a guy who just, the only time he would throw you a fastball for a strike was to a right-handed hitter on the inside corner, or just off the inside corner.
I think left-handers have an easier approach to becoming that soft tossing type of pitcher. With right-handers, it's not quite as easily done. Now, Louis had a most unusual motion, and deception was the key for him when he couldn't throw real hard, which he did for a long part of his career.
And when he came back off that broken shoulder and got back in, he threw not as hard as he did, because Louis in 1968, Louis threw as hard, and in some games harder than Sam McDowell. And Sudden Sam, you know what kind of stuff he had.
Yep.
He had the greatest stuff maybe ever lived. Adam. And Swisher will take it himself. 2 down. One of the things about Adam Dunn, too, we mentioned he led the major leagues last year in number of pitches seen in at bat. He also led the major leagues with almost 55% of his hits going for extra bases.
All he has to do is touch it. If he touches it, many of them go out of the ballpark, and if not, if he hits the ball the opposite way, it usually winds up a double.
Well, here's Canerco. Nice piece of woodwork, base hit. Back in the second inning, that's the only hit we have off Daisuke. And takes that one for a strike. Yeah, the old gyro ball.
Everybody's making such a big deal of that.
Yeah, there for a couple of weeks. But Terry had him, and Terry likes evidently his makeup, and that's the reason he's over here.
Well, there really was nothing to lose, because once they released him, they probably gave him a token amount of money, re-signed him as a minor leaguer. They'll send him down, get some innings in, and he'll be their insurance policy in case something happens.
He certainly has got our hitters off balance. There's no question about that. Because that's pretty easy. 1, 2, 3 innings. He retired 8 in a row, and there's still no score. And you can join the White Sox Kids Club presented by the University of Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital, because we're teaming up to promote a healthy lifestyle and combat childhood obesity. Members will receive free White Sox tickets and cool exclusive Kids Club items, so-called. 866 Sox game, or visit whitesox.com to join the club.
I believe a little later in the game we're going to see Jesse Crane pitch an inning. That's going to help determine if he's going to be ready to go when the bell rings.
Well, Jesse is in that spot right now, as we've seen so many times over the years, that if you're going to err, you err in a caution. On the side of caution. Right,
especially with the groin irritation, which can lead to something that lasts, and because I'm sure you had it. It just lingers, and if you don't take care of it and make sure that everything is healed, it can go on for a couple of months.
Well, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you didn't want to go on the DL. You didn't want to go in the training room.
No, because you were afraid of losing your spot.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So what guys would do, I've seen pitchers actually hurt their arms because of groin injury. Change their motion to try to, compensate for it. So you don't want if you're going to err on the side of caution with Jesse Crain.
Well, years ago, there was a good left-hander around by the name of Danny Jackson, who, when he came up to the big leagues, had otherworldly stuff, and then he got injured a lot, and he wound up with a groin injury and didn't shut him down, and it kept on actually going higher and higher. Eventually, he lost the season because he just couldn't get it to heal.
Well, with our Herm Schneider, Brian Ball, Alan Thomas, and our staff of doctors, they're not going to go in that direction.
No.
Watch out. Knocks it down, picks it up, and that's a hard way to get an out right there. Brantley. Hang with him, kid.
That one couldn't have felt so good. Now they're going to go out and have a talk with Jeff Gray. Line drive right back at him. If you do get hit with a line drive, you certainly would love to pick the ball up and get the guy out.
Well, it's amazing. Pitchers have always amazed me in that respect. I've seen guys hit with, absolute rockets. I remember seeing Jim Lonborg, who was a 20-game winner for the Boston Red Sox, and a guy named Jim Gentile, Diamond Jim Gentile, who was a true slugger. He was a big guy and a terrific home run hitter. He hit a bullet. It hit Jim Lonborg right in the heart area. Okay? Ball bounded about 5 or 6 feet away from him, and he never made any kind of a sign of hurt or injury or anything. He went right over, picked it up, and threw him out, and then he collapsed.
Yeah, you want to get the guy out.
Yeah, that's just an instinct. Pitchers, I don't care how hard it, unless it hits them in the head or something like that, they always go after that ball.
I tried to do that with, and you'll remember the guy, Bobby Grich, who was a great player.
Better believe it.
He hit me so hard in the thigh that I actually crawled to the ball in the infield in Baltimore to throw him out at first base. Threw it into right field, and he wound up at third. And it didn't hurt. Oh, I don't think it hurt for much more than a couple of months.
Yeah. The pitchers are like that.
Jeez.
It's just an instinct. So here's Mark Reynolds. He grounded out to Keppinger at third.
Mark's got tremendous power, always has. Came up with the Arizona Diamondbacks, always had a problem defensively. You miss with a breaking pitch and hang it, he can hit it 8 miles. He'll hit a fastball middle in exceptionally well. And the Indians figure he's going to be their DH on a daily basis. And occasionally, just occasionally, spell Nick Swisher at first base.
Well, Mark, 1, 2, 3. 3 times has struck out over 200 times. His top being 223 with Arizona in 09, when he hit 44 home runs and drove in 102. Almost did it another time when he struck out 196 times his first year with Baltimore in 2011.
I think they probably arrested him after that.
Wow. But you touched on it the other day. The home run, the amount of strikeouts today it used to be a huge thing. If you were going to strike out 100 times, you better be putting some big numbers up on that board. I mean, big numbers. And I'm talking about clutch in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Now today, they just accept it.
They view it as just another out.
He gone. Breaking ball. 3rd strikeout for Jeff. 2 down.
Good, solid curveball right over the middle of the plate.
So here's Lonnie. Chisenhall grounded out to back him at second. Well, Alvin Dark was a guy who was definitely, he was a manager and a terrific player. He was a shortstop for the Giants, among other teams, back in the 50s. And a terrific manager. And he was a guy who more or less bridged that transition from guys striking out to be accepted. Because we had Reggie Jackson as a kid. And I'll never forget the day I walked in the ballpark and Reggie was there taking extra batting practice, and Luke Appling was one of our coaches, and he was trying to get Reggie to hit the ball to left field. And Alvin Dark found out about it, and he came running down the runway, running out on the field, and he grabbed Luke, took him over the side and said, "Don't you ever mess with this kid. This kid is going to strike out a lot, and this kid is going to hit 40 home runs," as there's a base hit by Chisenhall.
He did that out of Arizona State University. Parlayed it all the way to the Hall of Fame.
Well, he was the first guy, first hit given up by Jeff, by the way. This is 2nd inning of work. Check that 2nd hit. He was the guy who was the first definitive cut. And by cut, I mean physique.
Mm-hmm.
When he took up, when he came first day, he came in our clubhouse in Kansas City and took off his shirt. All the guys just couldn't believe what we looked. We thought it was a sculpture or something. High into left field. Off the bat of Machiavelli's. Tank is there. And that'll retire the side. We're halfway home, still scoreless. Final game from Arizona. After the game, if you're just tuning in, our guys will board their charter, United. Sparky Seipold, Mark Seipold. Come on back to Chicago. Come on back home. Get ready for opening day after a couple of games at Miller Park in Milwaukee. And if you did not hear, if you're just tuning in, opening day is sold out. So here's Sanchez, and we told you about that tremendous home run that he hit yesterday over at Surprise Stadium. And if you did not see that game, poof.
One of Von Hill's three hits yesterday. That a bomb.
That's the longest home run we've seen all spring.
Didn't think he had it in him, but he saved it up.
Well, Sanchez, who came in for Alexei, if you're just joining us, who got hit in the shoulder with a pitch. But Sanchez last year at Oklahoma City hit .320. Only 5 homers. Three and one. That might be one of the best, maybe the best pitch that Daisuke has thrown for a guy to hit today.
He hasn't thrown too many fastballs in the zone.
No. That ball smoked into right field. And that's a gapper. The Subs will get it back in. Leadoff double by Sanchez.
Indians outfield this year is not going to be able to throw very well. Bourne below average in center field. Brantley okay, but not great in left field. Now Stubbs has a very good arm in right field. But going away from the throw, not much of a chance here. But he'll throw out his share of guys.
Here's D. Wise with a job to do. Grounded out to Swisher, his first at bat. And there's a base hit. Sanchez will hold up as Brantley gets it back in. And our catcher, Tyler Flowers. 0 for 1. He grounded out. Mike Avila's at short. There D-Wise goes. No throw.
That one's stolen on Matsuzaka. He didn't pay much attention to him, and Marson, who usually throws very well, just couldn't get off the throw.
Well, Dwayne can steal a big base for you. Pops him up, right side. One out, and that'll bring up Beckham. Evidently thought that one was low.
Borderline went Matsuzaka's way.
ball is striking out. Gordon last year had 6 separate at-bats with 10 or more pitches last year. Counting the foul-offs. And there's a shot base hit. So the Sox get on the board and take a 1-0 lead. Sully's happy, as is Quinn and Grace.
Matsuzaka tried to run the fastball in on Gordon's hands and jam him, but couldn't get it there. Gordon has had a very good spring with that new approach, new hand position, new thought process.
The approach is the key word.
Hitting the ball pretty well, and he's hitting it to all fields.
De Aza has gone out to right, and he's gone out to left. Bit of gap out there in right center. A run on 4 hits, no errors for our guys. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for their guys. Here in the bottom of the 5th. There he goes.
When a catcher comes up and he's going to throw, he really exposes himself. And odds are if the ball is fouled, it's going to get a piece of him. And that's what happened with Marson. So we do have Jesse Crane loosening in the pen. That'll be an interesting inning of work. I look forward to seeing him.
What a nice year De Aza had last season. Doing it all. The lumber, the leather. There's a bunt. That's a Jim Dandy. That's a Jim Dandy. Fly scores 2-0 Sox.
Perfect bunt whether they make the play or not. It's going to get the run home, that you know for sure, once he got it on the grass. And then because Swisher came on to field it, but there was no coordination with Kipnis at second, and nobody home at first, except for De Aza, who drove in the run with a bunt.
Here's Keppinger. Jeff is 0 for 2, a grounder to third and a strikeout on a slow curveball. Something like that. Both Beckham, who is at second base, and Keppinger, Georgia Bulldogs. Both had brilliant careers. Trying to shoot that one into right center.
You can never really look for any one pitch, especially with 2 strikes, but you'd have to figure Matsuzaka is going to go back with a breaking ball away. That's the one pitch he's had success with Keppinger.
There goes Gordon, and there's a shot off the glove. Bobbled. Everybody's going to be safe? Yes.
The one thing Matsuzaka's always given base stealers, because of that long, slow delivery, is the ability to take off. Knowing Keppinger is going to make some contact, this ball hits off Matsuzaka, hits off Aviles, who picks up E6. And it loads him up.
Here's Tank. He's had trouble with the slow slants. Matsuzaka, a couple of strikeouts. Keppinger, University of Georgia, in his 3-year career, they hit 380. Back in his junior year, he hit 389, 18 homers, and drove in 73. And that's low. Sacks packed with Sox, 1 out. 1-1 to count. That ball looped into center field. Beckham not going. So 2 down.
Bourne plays one of the most shallow center fields in baseball, and that helped him that time, not respecting the power of Viciedo, but making sure he couldn't drop one in front of him. And we'll see that all year when we see Cleveland. There's Gordon tagging up just in case. Bourne does not have a great arm, but he had everything going for him. He was shallow, he was coming straight in, and Gordon stays right there.
Here's Adam Dunn. 0 for 2. 2 ground balls, 1 back to the pitcher and 1 to first base. They're going to put the shift on. That ball's hammered. Foul. Beckham, Diaza, and Keppinger go back. Change up. And a count 0-2. They want to go in. Good take, good eye.
That one just off the plate. Didn't miss by much. Sox try to add to their lead.
Two and 2. 2-5-0 for us. 0-2-1 for them. Ball hit hard, but the shift's going to get him again. We get on the board with a pair, and we lead it 2-0. Starting with opening day on April 1st, Bacardi at the Park will open 4 hours before the start of the 2013 home games with half-price appetizers and raffles after every game. So be sure and stop by Bacardi at the Park at USA LaField's Gate 5 Plaza.
Jesse Crane comes into the ball game. He's going to be the 4th Sox pitcher of the day. The first 3, Zaleski, Omagrosso, and Gray threw the ball very well. Jesse trying to preserve that 2-0 shutout. He's done a lot of his work in the minor leagues so far, as you can see. Just a couple of games against major league hitters. So here is his 3rd appearance.
Marson, 0 for 1, a comebacker to the pitcher. Smokes that one right back through the middle. So the 3rd hit by the Indians, and here's the leadoff man who has one of those 3, Michael Bourne. Kevin Jaway in on the grass at 3rd. Now backs up a few steps.
Kevin Smith is checked in behind the plate.
Speed pitch down low, and the count 1-2. Jesse, a key component to our bullpen. If he's healthy, we have a real good bullpen. If he's not, then we have a good bullpen. That ball hit deep in the left center. That's a long way to go. Gets there. So out number 1.
You love the little man to hit the ball in the air. Even when they give it a good ride, usually there's somebody standing back there. Orange game is on the ground, and he'll do you a favor by hitting it upstairs.
Well, here's Drew Stubbs. 28-year-old outfielder. There's that curveball. Grabs the strike. Stubbs in 2010 hit 22 home runs, drove in 77. Stole 30 bases. 2011, 15 home runs. And stole 40 bases. And there's a base hit. The 3 balls have been hit hard off Jesse.
That fastball down, and Stubbs, who is a dead fastball hitter, drives it through the left side.
That'll bring up Kipnis, who has gone out to center and struck out. Change up. Ball hit deep into left field. Tank back. They got a shot with a good throw. No, cut off. And it's a 2-1 ball game, so they have hung out 4 hard hit balls off Jesse Crain.
Jason Kipnis has got pretty good power. Took a fastball right down the middle, and Jesse doesn't have that little extra velocity and that little extra hop on the fastball that he's going to need this year. Has gotten hit hard.
Here's Swisher. A walk and a strikeout. Curveball, yes, and the count 0-2. We have 2 runs on 5 hits. They have 1 run on 5 hits. 3 coming here in the top of the 6th inning. Curveball in the dirt. Gets by everybody. And this game is tied at 2.
Kevin Smith could not corral that breaking ball in the dirt. That ball bounced right in front of the foot of Swisher and just ate up Smith.
So now with 1 out, the infield in. And Kipnis on third. The 2-2 pitch to Swisher. Change up, got him. 2 down. Well, we might see a situation. What do you think about what we're looking at? Hitters will let you know.
Oh, I think at this point Jesse needs some more arm strength.
Yeah.
And to me, rather than try to extend him, and I know he's going to throw 1 more time and they'll evaluate after that, but it's kind of tough to keep Omo Grosso off the ball club.
Gets out of it, but they come up with a pair. Go to the bottom of the 6th, tied at 2. Well, we got ourselves a 2-2 tie here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jesse Crane going out there, getting hit hard that half inning, but he did hit 91 one time. The rest of them, most of them, were in the mid to low 80s.
Yeah, probably not the velocity Jesse's looking for, but right now he's looking for pitching with no pain, and so far he hasn't had to cover first base, which that will tell if the groin problem is still with him or not. Hopefully he will be okay. If he's not, there's a pretty good backup plan in Brian Omagrosso. After 4 scoreless innings, both teams scored a pair, and let's see if we can untie it.
All right, Paul Konerko. Paulie will lead it off. Some changes for the Indians, which we'll try to get to them a little bit later, as there is a slow curveball strike by Matsusaka. Paulie is 1 for 2, picked up our first hit back in the 2nd inning. That pitch out of play. Very quickly, 0-2. And if you're just getting home, tuning in, final game from Arizona. Aboard our charter. Come on back home. There was a curveball. Probably a little upset. That was a cookie. And he pops it up. We'll have 2 exhibition games at Miller Park. As here comes Terry Francona. He's going to make a change. He's already pointed to the bullpen. 2 exhibition games at Miller Park, and then April 1st. Opening day is sold out, and that'll be against the Kansas City Royals, so make your plans to be with us at the ballpark on April 3rd. So a pitching change, and we'll be back.
Vinny Pastano is the new pitcher, and he's their premier setup man. Last year, 3-3 ERA, a little above 2.5, and he appeared in 70 games. This year so far, 11 hits in 7 innings. Did not have a particularly good World Baseball Classic, but he's one of those guys that just about anybody in baseball would love to have as their setup man. Chris Perez is their closer, and Pastano is a guy who gets him the baseball.
Angel Sanchez hacking in that first ball fastball.
Pretty good job by Matsuzaki. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up a couple of runs on 5 hits. He didn't walk anybody, hit 1, fanned 3, and if they were looking for some positives, he got the ball over the plate and did a nice job.
Well, he did what you call pitching. Short strikes and changing speeds. Not letting him hit the fastball. Most of the fastballs he threw for strikes because of his MO were taken.
He has always been a nibbler.
1-2 the count. Sanchez is 1 for 1, a double. He started off that 2-run fifth with a double and run scored. Breaking ball, no. Count hangs at 2-2.
It's Carlos Moncrief. Matt Carson is in center, and Tyler Holt is in left. So wholesale changes for the Tribe. That's Tony Walters at second base and Eric Gonzalez at first.
Aced him on the outside. Two down.
That one probably a spring training getaway strike. Anytime Marson, who gave the signal on the outside corner, has to reach to his right, it's probably not there.
Wayne Wise, 1 for 2, a single, a stolen base, and a run scored. And there's another base hit for D. Wise. So good speed aboard.
Go to the arm angle of Pastano. He's a lot easier to hit if you're a left-hand hitter. You can see the ball all the way. Dwayne having yet another good day.
So here's the catcher, Kevin Smith.
With the exception of Asdrubal Cabrera, who's not playing today, and Carlos Santana, who also is not playing, we saw the Kansas City lineup and the Indian lineup. Who do you think is a more potent lineup?
Well, to me, there's no question. Kansas City.
Brandon Short takes over.
Brandon had quite a day yesterday. Wow. 3 for 5, a couple of home runs. Yeah, Kansas City. Kansas City has a very competitive, grind it out, dig it out lineup. They have good at bat. They have probably as good at bats up and down the lineup as any team in the American League.
Well, they also have pretty decent power to go with some good speed throughout their lineup. And you talk to any of the scouts around, and of course we've seen him since he came to the big leagues, but Salvador Perez, one of the best young catchers in the game. Escobar just getting better at shortstop. Hosmer has to have a better year, you would think, at first base. They look like they're going to be pretty tough, the pitching holds.
Ball in the dirt.
It's like Marson, who usually blocks just about everything, tried to backhand that ball right in the middle of his body, and usually that doesn't work well.
Kevin Smith, 24 years old, 6'4", 230 pounds. Out of the University of Pittsburgh. And that's outside. Took that pitch nicely. Last year in 86 games at Kannapolis, hit 282, 7 homers, and knocked in 60. pretty good swing on that one. Yeah, Kansas City is just to me, there's no question they're the dark horse in our division this year.
Well, they've got a strong enough bullpen to match up with just about everybody, and the question mark becomes, after James Shields, how are those other guys going to do?
Well, they got to do their part for them to be a successful dark horse. As he gets him, and it'll retire the side. Into the 7th, tied at 2.
Monday, opening day is here. Go live to the South Side as Chuck Garfien and Bill Melton bring you all the pregame festivities. Then watch the main event as Chris Sale leads the White Sox into battle with the Royals. Don't miss White Sox opening day, Monday at 2 on Comcast Sportsnet. Matt Thornton comes into the game, and he'll take over work on the hill in this 2-2 game. Hector Jimenez will take over at first base.
Thomas in the 3rd.
And we do have some wholesale changes for our Sox.
Sanchez at 2nd. Pacheco at short, where he's been, where he went in for Alexei, who was hitting the shoulder if you're just tuning in. And, of course, a pitching change.
Matt trying to get a strong inning of work. He is the 5th Sox pitcher in this 6+ innings.
Two balls, 2 strikes to the 29-year-old slugger. And a full count. Ball hit hard. Chisenhall. He's grounded to 2nd, and he has singled. He's just 24 years old. Got a chance to be a real thoroughbred.
He's a former #1 draft pick in the year when the Indians drafted way down, number 29 in the draft. Just now coming into his own.
To the count. piece of hitting right there. Goes down, digs it out, and slams it right back through the middle.
Keenan Walker is playing center field. Joey Wendell comes in to pinch run.
And here's Mike Avelius. Twice he has gone out to left. Runs and hits even at 2 and 6. They have one error. We have none. Oh, and 1 to count to Avelius, who's a 32-year-old veteran. Came in hitting at 320 on the spring. Last year, as I mentioned, hit 250 with the Red Sox, 13 homers, and drove in 60.
There's a look at Drew Garcia, who made a good play on that Reynolds one-hop shot. He takes over for Gordon Beckham at second.
And the ball gets away. That'll be a wild pitch. A tough out against us in his career is Mike Avelius. Oh, what a pitch. Ate him up. Nice play by Matt. Ate him up. 2 down.
Tollison is back, and odds are he wouldn't have made this play, but he doesn't have to because Matt Thornton spins and throws in the same motion. Good solid effort, especially by a left-hander. And he got in by a good 2 steps.
So here's Lou Marson, the catcher. Takes first pitch strike on the outside corner. Checking some other scores for you down in the Grapefruit League. In this one, Philadelphia beat the Tigers 4-1. Cole Hamels over Justin Verlander. Verlander 1-3 with a 4.01 on the spring.
I think they got to trade him personally. I mean, he's not throwing well. He's not getting any younger. Move him out to the National League while you still get good value for him.
It wasn't but just a few years ago we were saying, put him out there.
Yeah.
He couldn't get us out.
Not in the early days, no.
Marson hits it well into center field, but we got a man there, and that'll retire the side. 7th inning stretch, tied at 2. And a reminder, you can organize a group outing of 20 or more for a Sox game during the 2013 season and receive savings off the individual game ticket price. Enhance your outing by upgrading to our new Miller Lite Bullpen Party Porch, pregame patio party, Diamond Suite, or one of our other great party areas. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
Matt Capps comes into the game, and he's going to be the newest of the Indian pitchers. He falls in the same situation as Daisuke Matsuzaka. He was released, re-signed to a minor league contract, and coming back from injury, they're waiting for his arm to come back. Capps at one point was a pretty good closer, trying to regain that velocity.
Drew Garcia takes high and wide, ball one. Beckham was 1 for 2 with an RBI. Sox with 2 in the 5th. Indians 2 in the 6th. Garcia, nice swing. 1 out. And checking some other scores for you around there. The Grapefruit League, Minnesota beat Pittsburgh 7-4. Twins 16 and 14 on the spring.
Nice spring for him.
Yeah, it is.
They should enjoy it because it's not going to be a great year for that bunch.
Washington beat Atlanta 11-2. Washington 13 and 16 on the spring. Atlanta 19 and 15. As Keenan Walker fouls that one away. Blue Jays beat Tampa Bay 6-1. Blue Jays 14 and 16. Tampa Bay 15 and 16. And St. Louis over the Nationals 10-1. St. Louis 15 and 14, and Washington 12 and 17. Walker can run, but is foul. And around our Cactus League, Dodgers are trailing Seattle 4-1, bottom of the 4th. Dodgers 11 and 18 on the spring. Seattle 19 and 11. After 3, D-backs the home team. Giants leading them 3-1. D-backs 15 and 14. Giants 14 and 13. Angels leading Texas 4-2. Angels are 8 and 18 on the spring. Somehow
I don't believe that Mike Scioscia and his boys are that concerned about this.
Not with that lineup that they've got, the acquisitions they made. 2 down. So here's Steve Tollison, 29-year-old infielder out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. His dad played for the White Sox back in 1986. Then went to the Yankees. Takes that breaking ball up high. Takes that breaking ball right there. 1-1 to count. Well, you know, spring training, everybody has different visions of it. The majority, especially the contending clubs, they really don't particularly care what their records are.
No, and I think that the teams that probably will finish up the track have the best springs because they want to teach their guys and get them accustomed to winning. Whereas the other teams want to get through, make sure nobody's hurt, let everybody get their work in. They play a lot of B games. They'll play a lot of split squad games. And consider it a job well done. Robin, I believe when you talked about this spring, other than it being very long, is going to be happy that the health of most guys was not a question this spring.
Checks it up, did not go. Full count to Tollison. Very seldom, when the Yankees were in their heyday, did they have outstanding spring records.
Wouldn't have to. They all knew they were going to make the baseball team.
They just wanted to go out, get their 4 or 5 innings in, and not run into any walls, not make any difficult slides, and get the day over with. It's like back in 05. We were 14 and 18 in spring training. Foul tip hung on to, so a nice inning, 1, 2, 3 for Caps, and we'll go to the 8th.
Sox pitcher Ramon Troncoso comes in the game. He is the 6th Sox hurler today in a 2-2 game. Well, you can only hope this one goes 15 or 16.
And checking a couple of the scores for you. Milwaukee leading Kansas City 3-1. That's in the bottom of the 5th at Milwaukee's place. Milwaukee 10 and 17 on the spring, and the Kansas City Royals are 23 and 6.
Kansas City's had a magnificent spring.
Well, with Shields, Davis, and Santana added to their starting staff. That pitch is fouled back off the bat of Matt Carson. Bourne was 1 for 3 with a stolen base. And that ball is smoked hard by Carson.
Line drive rocket, and that brings up Carlos Moncrief.
Decent lead at first by Carson. 1-0 the count. 2-0 the count. Last time we saw Troncoso, he was having trouble throwing strikes.
That's why I don't particularly like a 1-0 pitch out with a guy that has some control difficulties, because it digs him into a hole.
There's one.
If there was indeed a spot in the bullpen, it was a battle between Omogrosso and Troncoso. And Brian Omogrosso seems to have won that battle.
There he goes. Foul tip, so a full count. And a reminder, book your outing of 20 to 56 people in our new Miller Lite bullpen party porch. The catered package includes food and beverages for 3 hours. Enjoy all of this inclusive area with some of the best seats in the house from our renovated tables in the Miller Lite Bullpen Sports Bar. Outfield straight up, about equal distance. An extreme closed stance by Troncoso. Academic as that's ball 4. So the first 2 men aboard. That'll bring up Tony Walters. Kipnis was 1 for 3 with an RBI double. And that 2-run 6 for the Indians. Squares the bunt. They go to third, and he gone. Nicely executed by Smith, then Tolleson.
Walters wanted this one bunted away from Smith, but they cut down the lead runner. That's a big out. Keeping the go-ahead run off third. Fly ball now is harmless. And a chopper in the infield doesn't score a run.
Well, there are an awful lot of ball games that have won and lost within a 20-foot radius of the mound. That was one of the secrets of Minnesota. That's where they really worked hard every spring, and our guys have really worked hard in the past 2 springs on that. Eric Gonzalez. Minnesota for years and years known as the benchmark standard for fundamentals in the American League.
Well, that ballpark, which was a pretty big ballpark, and they had a lot of guys that they call fleas, guys who can run and bunt and hit and run, and that's the style of game they played as one gets away. So that's a ball that was well wide of the plate. But I think a ball that Kevin Smith probably would tell you he should have been able to at least knock down. It trickled away, and now it forces the infield in at all 4 positions. Minnesota, in those years when they were dominating, they just did everything right. And that hit his glove before it hit the ground, so it could easily be called a pass ball.
Well, that was one of the best defensive infields I've ever seen in all my, as that's out of play. They had Corey Kosky, they had Gutierrez. At short, they had Rivas at second, they had Nikiewicz at first.
Nikiewicz was a wonderful first baseman.
They all were wonderful infielders. Yep. Nothing got through them, and they knew how they were taught how to play, and they just saved so many ball games. And there is a base hit that's going to score a pair. Here's the throw to second base. Got him. Beautiful throw. Meanwhile, 2 runs across the plate. And it's a 4-2 Cleveland lead. So the walk. Comes around to score. Four, 8-1 for their guys. 2-6-0 for our guys. Two and 0 the count. Three and 0 the count. Four and 0 the count. Yeah, when you're trying to win a spot, those baseball balls will kill you. So here's Tyler Holt. No, it's Jordan Smith hitting for Tyler Holt. At the wildness right here, Troncoso. They score a pair and they lead it 4-2.
Tonight, don't miss a special edition of Sports Talk Live from the Madhouse. Wonderful host David Kaplan leads a roundtable on the day's hottest topics and gets you ready for the big Bulls Heat Showdown. Live from the United Center, Sports Talk Live, presented by Smirnoff, tonight at 5 on Comcast Sports Net. Preston Gulmett is a new Indian pitcher. He inherits a 2-run lead. Matt Capps with a very strong 7th. He, for the moment, is a pitcher of record.
Stephon Cantrell will start it off for us here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-8-1 for the Indians, 2-6-0 for our Sox. We had 4 hits back in the 5th. We scored our 2 runs. We had 1 by Konerko in the 2nd, and we had 1 by Wise, who had 2 of the hits today, in the 6th.
Gomez throws from extreme straight over the top. You don't see many guys do that anymore.
Very quickly. 0-2 the count.
Brian Anderson is on deck. He'll get some swings.
Gomez is 6'2", 200 pounds, out of Roseville, California. 25 years old. And in his short career, he's had more strikeouts than innings pitched.
You can understand with a delivery that's most unusual for this day and age anyway. Used to be a lot of guys throw this way, but not so anymore. Now they throw 3/4, a variation high or low 3/4, but this is right over the top.
A lot of Tim Lincecum in that. 1 out.
Another guy that was probably a little bit better because he's a Hall of Famer. Jim Palmer threw right over the top.
8-time 20-game winner.
Great athlete. Just a wonderful pitcher.
Yeah, Jimmy was okay.
He had to have great stuff because he had no deception whatsoever.
He was just absolutely very true.
Just here it is. Little hop at the end of it.
Well, he was a high fastball, curveball pitcher. And that has been one of the adages around baseball for a long time. Show me a guy that can pitch up and I'll show you a winner. Better way to put it, show me a guy who knows how to pitch up. Now his was a different story because he just had that.
Well, he was up with just about everything,
Yeah.
but that was the day also when they had the outside chest protector and the high strike was very much called. Now you have to go up by design when you get ahead of the hitter because with the umpires in the slot, they call a much lower strike zone than they ever called before.
Well, when he was pitching, anything from the belt down, for the most part, with probably 90% of the umpires, was a ball. Anything from the belt to the bottom of the neck was a strike.
With the outside chest protector right behind the catcher gave him that kind of angle.
And that's one of the things the culture of the game has changed is Brian, high pop up. And that's out number 2. But that is part of the culture that's changed in those days. We touched on it the other day. In those days, all right-handed hitters were high fastball hitters.
And the left-handers were low fastball hitters. And now everybody's a low fastball hitter.
Yep.
Very rare to see guys from either side of the plate be able to hit that, let's say, shoulder-high fastball with anything on it.
One thing's a little different too now is you've got, I think, and probably percentage-wise, you probably have a little bit of a higher percentage now of left-handed hitters that can hit high fastballs. Here's a man that has had a good spring. Hector Jimenez. Hector yesterday came in hitting a 364, and he's looked real good behind the plate. He was 1 for 3 yesterday with a couple of runs scored.
That's what makes it a little bit difficult on a backup catcher, and that's what Hector is going to be. You get a lot of at-bats in spring training. And you're going to play, if not every day, every other day. You're going to get some at-bats in those B games we talked about, or those inter-squad games, or minor league games that you might get your work in. And all of a sudden the season starts, and now instead of getting 20 at-bats a week, you might get 6 at-bats a week. And unless you have a short stroke, it's very difficult to keep the same stroke that you had going for you in spring training. That's why a good backup catcher is invaluable.
Oh.
We had a great one in Ramon Castro for a few years, and then he hurt himself. But I think Jimenez can be a very good backup.
Well, being the switch hitter certainly helps him because he looks pretty stable. As there's a shot up the middle, he looks pretty stable from both sides of the plate. In fact, overall, he's been Keppinger and Jimenez have been 2 of the more outstanding players we've had this spring.
Nice stories for this spring, and good additions to the ball club. Along with Connor Gillespie. I mean, it was a situation for Rick Hahn where he wasn't going to be able to go out and get those big money, huge free agents because of some payroll constraints. So you had to really do your job. And some of the guys he added, the 3 we talked about, really have improved this baseball team.
Sanchez fouls it back, and that's going to be in the seats out of play. A Sox fan got it and gave it to another little Sox fan. Checks it up. Two out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jimenez at first. That ball hit way back. Stay fair. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes, another ball by Angel Sanchez. Mercy. That may have been longer than the one yesterday.
He's been saving up all spring for those 2. That one was almost hit into the Dodger complex in left field.
And this game is tied at 4.
It's a problem with high fastballs that don't get inside far enough. A blast. I mean, a blast to left field.
I'm trying to think. I saw one hit further, and I saw one hit over that back fence back there. And I believe it was by Tyler Flowers. But that's probably the second longest one I've seen to left field here.
It was about twice the size of Sanchez.
Here's Brandon Short. We mentioned today he had yesterday a couple of homers as he goes down right there. But the blast off the bat of Sanchez will go to the 9th, tied at 4. Bring your family to the ballpark for our all-new Family Sundays presented by the University of Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital. Tickets start as low as $5. Parking is just $10. So kids' activities include pregame player autographs and running the bases postgame. The White Sox and Comer Children's Hospital teaming up to promote a healthy lifestyle and combat childhood obesity. So purchase your tickets now by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Daniel Webb is coming in the game, trying to preserve this 4-4 tie. Hits tied at 8. Indians have made the only error of the game. Towering 2-run homer off the bat of Angel Sanchez. And that got the game back to even. There's Webb's record at Kannapolis last year.
23-year-old right-hander saws him off, and that's out number 1.
Shortstop number 82, Luis Hernandez.
I was talking earlier in the spring with Kurt Hassler, one of our minor league pitching coordinators who's been here with us for a long time. And Kurt said this young man, even though his record was not good last year, he said this young man's got a chance. The count. Don't walk him. No walks. That's what cost us a couple of runs last inning. There's the strike.
Santos in the on-deck circle, and Webb is pouring it up there 95 plus miles an hour.
And once again, the payoff pitch. Chopper to Hopper. Two down. So a nice comeback from that 3-0 deficit.
Santos is coming on.
Omir Santos. Yeah, Kurt Hassler has been with us. Now this is his 22nd season.
It's a good run.
Oh, he's good at what he does. He's a pitching coordinator. He lives in South Bend. Pretty good swing right there. And the count 1-1.
Omir's had a very good spring.
Close, didn't get it. So now 3-1 count. And there is ball 4. So the 2-out walk. And that'll bring up Matt Carson. Stevie, I'll tell you, I'm going on now, 30 years with this organization. And from top to bottom, this is probably the best it's ever been. When you're talking about Major League and minor leagues, as far as managers, instructors, and the whole 9 yards. And we've got some good-looking kids, too. Doug Lauman's done a terrific, and his staff have done a terrific job in scouting. We saw evidence of that last year when we had 10 rookie pitchers on our staff. And they've got some of the pundits, you know, from some of these magazines were saying, well, we were one of the worst in baseball in the minor leagues.
And every time they went down there to bring up a pitcher, they did pretty well.
Yeah. But this is probably the best overall it's been in all my time here.
Well, I like the instructors starting from the major leagues on down. I think they're teaching these kids the right way to do it.
I'll tell you what, 15, 20 years ago, we had a run of some guys that were shaky, as did other organizations.
But most organizations are starting to figure out that it costs you a lot less money if you can grow your own.
Well, Kenny was the minor league director before he became general manager, and he's the one that really got this. Got this organization on the right track in that respect. So we'll go to the bottom of the ninth, tied at 4.
Got a new pitcher. It's Matt Langwell. So Matsuzaka, Pisano, Caps, Gilmet, and now Langwell.
And our GMC player of the game is Angel Sanchez, and here is why.
A titanic home run that tied it at 4. His second in as many days. This one longer than the one yesterday. The Rule 5 draft. Coming through very well. He was out of the Houston organization where he didn't play in the major leagues last year. Wasn't protected on the 40-man. Rick Hahn and his scouts liked what they saw of him, and he's made the team as the backup infielder. So there's Langwell. Had a pretty good spring. Good control. And right-handers have not done a whole lot with him.
He's 26 years old, 6'2", 220. Out of College Station, Texas. And we understand Alexi Ramirez, who was hitting in that right shoulder, looked like he got him close to the tip of the right shoulder. Has a contusion, and he is day-to-day. So here's Kevin Smith to face Langwell.
Dig it out of the papers.
Jacks it up and takes ball 2. Out of play right side. If you're just joining us, we scored 2 in the 5th. They scored 2 in the 6th. They scored 2 in the 8th. And we came back on that bomb off the bat of Angel Sanchez to tie it with 2. Fooled him on that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hit through, and it will.
Now we'll see if Garcia can bunt him over. If that's the way Robin chooses to play it.
Drew Garcia. Long set. Garcia, switch hitter. Hit .316 last year at Birmingham. They're going to go to second, not in time.
Langwell took well too much time, and that play is called by the catcher. But I think he had made that decision to go to second base anyway, and a long, slow arm delivery. Throw off the mark. Foot wasn't on the bag anyway.
That'll bring up Keenan Walker. 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th. Takes it up high.
Got to be careful, because the easiest way to get picked off is if the man does try to bunt and he bunts through it, because that shortstop is going right behind, in this case, Smith at second base.
Alvin flip-flops it. And the count 1-1. So Drew Garcia, who was at first base, his grandfather, Dave Garcia, was one of the most respected men in baseball.
I like the guy a lot. I had a lot of dealings with Dave over the years.
There's a good one. The only play is going to be the first. And he don't get in.
He didn't put the foot down. He caught the ball. The other half is keep your foot on the bag. And so it loads him up.
I love the bunt.
Well, puts the pressure on the defense to execute.
You want to get that pitcher involved in as many plays as you can.
I think we might have caught a break there, but at this point, anything that ended is good.
So here's Steve Tollison. He's been to the plate one time, struck out. Attaboy. Always nice to have a guy at the plate who's not afraid to take the first pitch, unless it's exactly where he is looking in this scenario. Oh, he had one right there to end it. 1-1 the count. Sox packed with Sox. Nobody out. And the count 1-2.
Outfield very shallow. They want to get to the depth where on a line drive they can throw the man at third out at the plate.
That's a good eye right there.
A lot of guys sitting on the bench right now with that pitch.
Right here, Stevie. Right here, buddy. Not too much. Short and quick. Full count. That leadoff single by Kevin Smith got everything started. And that's ball 4, and this ball game is over. So a good at bat by Steve Tollefson. And the Sox, well, they win it 5-4. And we had some guys out there today, for the most part, who really pitched well. Stoney,
I think
Matt Zaleski.
Yeah, I think all things considered, it was a very good spring training, topped off by Zaleski, Omogrosso, who looked wonderful in his 1 inning of work. Gray didn't give up any runs, gave up a couple of hits, but he fanned 3. Jesse Crane had a tough outing. Matt Thornton threw well. Troncoso had a tough outing. And Webb looked like he might be a consideration for the future, because 95-96 with a sharp breaking ball, all he needs is control and a little experience. So a good day was had by all, and this is the finale. I enjoyed the spring, Hawk, and I look forward to this year.
Yeah, we should have we had a good season last year. This one should be even better, only because of the fact that our kids in the bullpen especially have acquired that experience that they needed, and they got it in the pennant race, as you talked about so often. So I think we're a better club right now, certainly going north, than we came out of the season with last year, where we only lost by 3 games to the Tigers.
Let's just get off to that good start before that first real tough road trip and take it from there.
I also want to thank our producer down here in Arizona, Michelle Godwin, for a terrific job. Well done, Michelle. And a reminder, our next game is Monday, opening day, when the Sox take on the Kansas City Royals at 3 p.m. That is a sellout now. That's a sellout. So the final from Camelback Ranch, Sox won at 5-4 over Cleveland. So for my partner, Steve Stone, I'm Director Jim Angio, our associate producer, Chris Kampka, our technical manager, Mark Harper, our senior executive producer of events, Jim Corno Jr. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody. Be sure to stay tuned for Sports Talk Live from the United Center.